Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if there's one thing that's been buzzing around the NFL, especially among Steelers fans, it's the kind of moves that could redefine our division and honestly, the entire league. And right now, the biggest story isn't just about the Steelers finally landing a big-name quarterback or about some shiny new draft picks. It's about the possibility of a blockbuster trade that could shake up everything, and that's Christian McCaffrey potentially coming to Pittsburgh. Yes, you heard that right. Christian McCaffrey, the star running back who's been somewhat under the spotlight lately, might be heading to the Steel City, and I have all the details for you. But before we dive deep into that, let's set the scene. The Steelers, as many of you know, have been building towards something special. After years of trying to find consistency at the quarterback position, they finally made a splash in the offseason by signing Aaron Rodgers. That's right, Rodgers, the legendary quarterback with his multiple MVP awards and Super Bowl victories, is now donning the black and gold. For Steelers fans, this is a moment of pure excitement. It's like finally turning the page on a chapter that's been filled with ups and downs, with debates about whether they should stick with a young QB or go all in on a veteran. And now, with Rodgers in the fold, the team's ambitions are sky high. But here's the thing, getting Rodgers was just the beginning. This move created a ripple effect that's impacting the entire roster. The Steelers, for months, have been trying to bolster their offense, especially their receiving core and their backfield. They've already made a notable move by acquiring DK Metcalf, a dynamic receiver who instantly upgrades their WR1 spot. But if you ask any Steelers fan, you'll know that the team isn't just satisfied with one-star receiver. They're eyeing a true WR2 to complement Metcalf, someone who can stretch the field, make tough catches, and take some pressure off the quarterback. And that's where the potential trade for Christian McCaffrey comes into play. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Isn't McCaffrey coming off a down year? And you'd be right. The 2024 season was far from his best, as he only played in 4 games and managed to rush for just over 200 yards with no touchdowns. Not exactly the numbers we're used to seeing from the guy who, for years, was considered one of the most electric playmakers in the league. But here's the thing, what really matters is his track record, his talent, and what he could bring to a team like the Steelers, especially with a quarterback like Rodgers who thrives with a versatile running back at his side. Think about it. Christian McCaffrey has accumulated over 900 rushing yards and scored 58 touchdowns throughout his career. He's a dual-threat back who can run between the tackles, catch passes out of the backfield, and create mismatches for defenses. Now, yes, he did have a less-than-stellar 2024, but that was partly due to injuries and team dynamics that didn't quite fit him. The San Francisco 49ers, the team that acquired him from Carolina, are now in a tricky position. They just signed Brock Purdy to a colossal 5-year, $265 million extension, which means they have to make some roster adjustments to accommodate their new quarterback and the salary cap. And this is where things get really interesting. The 49ers, with their recent signings and their roster composition, might consider moving McCaffrey to free up some cap space and get younger along the way. For the Steelers, this is an opportunity they simply cannot ignore. After Najee Harris left in free agency to join the Los Angeles Chargers, the team responded by bringing back Jaylen Warren, a solid backup, and drafting Caleb Johnson, a promising rookie. But Warren, as talented as he is better suited as an RB2, and Johnson, while promising, still needs development. So, if the Steelers want to truly compete at a high level, especially with Rodgers leading the offense, they need a reliable, proven back to share the workload and keep Rodgers protected and comfortable. Now, let's get real. McCaffrey isn't coming off his best year, but that doesn't erase his talent or his potential to be a game changer. His previous seasons, especially in 2019 and 2020 with Carolina, and then in 2021 and 2022 with San Francisco, showcased a player who could take over games. His ability to run, catch, and make explosive plays is unmatched when he's healthy. And in a system like the Steelers, under the guidance of a smart offensive coordinator, he could be back to his peak in no time. Especially with a quarterback like Rodgers, who's known for his quick decision-making and ability to extend plays, McCaffrey's versatility would be a perfect fit. Imagine Rodgers in that offense, with McCaffrey as the safety valve, catching passes out of the backfield, or lining up as a receiver on the outside. It would make the Steelers' offense one of the most dynamic in the league. Plus, with the defense still anchoring a formidable unit, adding a player like McCaffrey could turn Pittsburgh into a true contender. The division, the AFC North, is already packed with talent. Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, and Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, it's a gauntlet. But with the right pieces, the Steelers can rise to the top and make a serious Super Bowl run. Now, I want to pause here for a moment and highlight why this trade makes so much sense for Pittsburgh. First, Christian McCaffrey has proven he can be a focal point of an offense, especially in a system that emphasizes versatility and multiple formations. Second, his experience and leadership qualities can be a huge boost for a team that's trying to establish a winning culture again. And third, getting him would send a message to the rest of the league that the Steelers are serious about competing now, not just rebuilding. It's a bold move, but one that could pay huge dividends in the long run. Of course, there are questions. Will the 49ers be willing to trade him? What draft picks or players would Pittsburgh need to give up? And can McCaffrey stay healthy enough to make a real impact? Those are questions only time will answer, but the signs point toward a real possibility. The 49ers are in a bit of a roster reshuffle mode, and trading McCaffrey could be part of their strategy to stay cap compliant and to build for the future. And for the Steelers, if they move swiftly, they might just land a player who can help them take that next step towards Super Bowl glory. Now, it's important to keep an eye on the NFL rumor mill and official reports because, as you all know, trades like these don't happen overnight. But if the Steelers do pull the trigger on a deal for McCaffrey, it would be a game changer. It would make their offense more explosive, more unpredictable, and much harder for defenses to handle. Plus, it would give Rodgers a reliable weapon out of the backfield, something he's always had success with in the past. And let's not forget, the Steelers are a proud franchise with a rich history of making bold moves when it counts. This could be one of those moves. So, as we look forward to training camp and the start of the 2025 NFL season, keep this story on your radar. The potential arrival of Christian McCaffrey in Pittsburgh could be one of the most talked about stories of the offseason. It's a move that could define the Steelers' entire season and maybe their future. The fans are already buzzing, the media is speculating, and the players are preparing for what could be a historic year. If this trade happens, the Steelers will not just be contenders, they'll be favorites in many eyes, and rightfully so. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Christian McCaffrey would be the perfect fit for the team? Would you be willing to give up draft picks or players to make it happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. We're in an exciting time, folks, and the best is yet to come. Let's go Steelers!